Welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Age of Sail. I am Commander Tyrael, and I've just completed a land battle to secure the San Juan River. Fortunately, the recording was corrupted, so we'll have to make do with a report from the European Times. From our correspondent in Kingston, Jamaica, May 30th, 1780. In a decisive campaign, our expeditionary forces under the command of the Honourable Admiral Clark Gayton won the Battle of Santa Cruz, which allowed our troops to push deeply into the Ramas Valley at the heart of the Spanish colony. Surprisingly, the decisive act came from an unlikely source in John Jarvis, known as the lieutenant from the HMS Richmond. Under his command, Royal Marines and Army regulars seized a crucial bridge, which secured the San Juan River and prevented the arrival of Spanish reinforcements and opened up an avenue for the army under Major General Francis Smith to storm the city. Grateful for the assistance, Colonel MacDonald of the Jamaica Volunteers gifted John Jarvis a barrel of amazing French wine, previously in the possession of the Spanish commander. Accolades abound. The wine was enjoyable. With the remaining budget from that last mission, I bought a brand new corvette, the HMS Coventry. Felt like we need the extra firepower. The previous mission, the previous naval mission was really good. I found the Bridgewater to be quite a strong ship for what we'd faced so far. I had to sell one of our prize transports and one of our prize brigs to fund that. 14th of June 1780. You have received an order to locate and capture the very new Spanish corvette spotted in the area. We have no reports about additional enemy forces, so be sure to capture the ship and not sink her. Sounds easy enough. By capturing this state-of-the-art Spanish frigate, the Admiralty will be able to learn its secrets and further the war effort, at the same time as eliminating the threat to our supplies. This is the perfect spot for ships to replenish their supplies and rest their crews. Too perfect. Captain, be forewarned. If they are able to mobilize, their short cannons are deadly at close distances. We need to close the distance and use grape shot on their top decks. I don't feel like that's going to be appropriate for this mission because in my experiments, the grape shot hasn't been terribly effective in the smaller ships. Just not enough guns, not enough shrapnel. So I think I will just attack them with brute cannonball power and wait for them to waver before boarding. Seems simple enough. Wind is in our favour for range, so we'll be able to get first shots on them fairly easy, but he has got a good line to try and escape the bay. So we'll bring all three ships. I've got the two corvettes and the one brig. Oh dear. Don't seem to have any guns on my brig. We still have more than enough, but it also seems to be the same class of ship as us, a 6th rate Cerberus class corvette. And I think, yeah, I've brought my troop ship with me by mistake. They looked the same on the unit card. I'll have to pay attention next time. But we're not learning if we don't make mistakes, are we? So we'll swing around to the port side for a starboard side broadside. Not bad. A couple of decent hits there. Put some dents in the planking. Now Coventry's coming in hot here, so we'll turn her behind the stern and increase her distance from Bridgewater. Pretty low stress mission so far. I don't see this getting too far out of hand. Second broadside is away for the battle. We do have a slight crew advantage on both of our ships, and overall we have a definitive crew advantage, so not very worried at all. Speed up the time to lower the amount of time that we waste on the intercept. Third broadside's away. We've had 3 hits to the powder room. We've got to be a bit more careful of that. Don't want to blow her up. She attempts to rake the commentary, but not very accurate. Turning back to the starboard side to try and eat a volley from our Bridgewater. Coventry's going to try and sneak through on her starboard side. Once she's pinned between us, the morale will crumble fairly quickly, I am assured. Change target so we're not hitting the same area of the ship. We don't want to detonate her. And I'll reserve grape shot for when I have a bigger ship with way more guns. Raking the stern there does a fair bit of morale damage. She's going to try and cut behind Bridgewater's stern, so we'll try and flip around. And we'll try and put the troop ship just on an intercept course. If things go pear-shaped, we could use the extra infantry on board to help board her. She does have slightly more experienced crew than our ships. And we don't know what kind of weaponry they have on board. She's just taking a port side shots on our troop ship. At that range, it shouldn't do too much. Quickly swing Bridgewater around before she reloads on her starboard guns. Perhaps bring Coventry in to cover the shots in case they happen. Another fairly inaccurate volley from our enemy there. Bridgewater's taking some damage, so I'll slip the Coventry in between and she can take over the tanking of fire. Straighten up. Hold fire on those guns there for me, Bridgewater. We'll try and use some grape shot on her now. Her planking's down. I found that it does more damage once the armor on the ship is reduced. So 2 ships with grape shot. See, I'm unimpressed with that. It was 3 crew members. Seven crew members. I feel like the cannonball was doing much more damage. I mean, ideally you want to use grape shot at point blank, but it's not always practical if you're fighting a bigger ship or they have bigger guns than you. I should add that the Coventry actually has 9-pounder guns, whereas the Bridgewater only has 6-pounder guns, due to availability. So we'll commence that boarding action now. More grape shot into the bow of the San Giovanni. Still don't quite have the angle right. Looks like she's trying to turn away from our boarding action and snap those ropes. And she'll be able to do that as long as she has wind behind her. So if she had more wind behind her, she may be able to get away from us, but as she crosses that threshold and starts facing the wind, she'll slow down and we'll catch up. Fair amount of physics involved with these ships that the casual observer may not be aware of. If you're good at geometry or you have a natural ability for shapes and angles, you'll do well in naval combat. Alright, so boarding actions have commenced. Ropes are thrown. Crew is getting smashed on the San Giovanni. We did lose 45 men by the looks of it. Switch across the prize crew, chop the ropes, and prize complete. That was a nice quick mission. We lost 56 men. They did a fair amount of damage to us actually. They did more damage to our ships than I expected. Daniel Pope and Spranger have been promoted, and we we have our prize. Very nice. We now have 3 corvettes, so I'll go ahead and top up my crew members that we lost in that engagement. 56 men, buried at sea, but their sacrifice was worth it for the overall glory of the Empire. Still don't think I have enough. There aren't enough guns in the shop for that ship to be upgraded to 9-pounders. Infantry levels are a little bit low, but we don't have any upcoming ground assaults that I'm aware of, so we'll just leave that as is for now. So we'll call that a day on this particular episode. We'll keep it to 1 mission per episode. Thank you very much for tuning in. Until next time, Commander Tyrael, out.